Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name's Rowan, and this is Dragon Age Origins. In the last video, we went through the origin story, the human noble origin story, and Arl Howe was a vassal of our father, and he apparently betrayed us and killed our whole family. And then we joined the Wardens. Yay! Alright, so I think our goal right now is to let me see, we'll just read it. You have arrived at the king's camp, just outside the Korkari wilds in the ruin known as Ostagar. Duncan told you that when you're ready to begin the joining, you should seek out the Grey Warden named Alistair somewhere in the camp. And that's DLC. We'll get to that eventually. I like the atmosphere, the windy noise.
Hail, you must be the Grey Warden recruit that Duncan brought.
Who are you?
This place hasn't seen such bustle in centuries, I'll wager. Need a hand getting anywhere? Used to be a fortress long time ago, so I understand. Back in the days when the Wilders used to invade the lowlands. You were just on the eastern side of the ruin. The Tower of Ishal is there, but Tairn Logain's closed it off until the battle. This side is the King's camp. We've got the Grey Wardens here, the Circle of Magi, the Chantry. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting somebody important. Quartermaster, he's just a bit to the northwest. Probably in his tent. He and Tairn Logain are on the southwest side of the camp. The king likes to spend time with his soldiers, though. Sometimes even without his bodyguard. Drives Tairn Logain wild, that does. A few mages, yes. They even brought those creepy quiet fellows, the Tranquil. Gives me the shivers when they talk, all cold and even. They're to the north of here, bunched up with a herd of Templars glaring at them. Can't miss it. This is Ferelden, isn't it? The king has his kennels on the west side of camp. Stinks from all the hounds. These aren't cute puppies, though. Some of those dogs bite the darkspawn and get too much of that blood in them. It's like poison. Slow, painful death. Terrible. Go on, then. Not far. It's straight ahead, just past the royal encampment. Most of your fellas are in the valley with the army, but the recruits seem to be staying up here for now.
Makes sense.
Try heading north. I think he was sent with a message to the mages. Good luck to you, then.
I'm sorry, but the mages must not be interrupted. I'm sorry, but the mages must not be interrupted.
The mages must not be interrupted. Their spirits are in the Fade. The Fade is the realm of dreams and the land of the dead, or so the mages tell us. Regardless, they are not to be disturbed, not even by Grey Wardens.
Greetings, young lady. You are Duncan's newest recruit, are you not? He's not a man easily impressed. You should be proud. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Wynne, one of the mages summoned by the king. Well met, and good luck to you on the battlefield. To us all, in fact. Not precisely. The Grey Wardens will be on the front lines, not the mages. Still, we have our parts to play. To defeat the Darkspawn, we have to work together. It's not an idea everyone seems able to grasp. Some. Do you? Do you know about the connection between them and the Fade, for example? Anytime your spirit leaves your earthly body, whether it's to dream or to die, it passes into the realm we call the Fade. It's home to many spirits, some benevolent, others far less so. At the heart of the Fade lies the Black City. Some say the Black City was once the seat of the Maker. But when the mages from the Tevinter Imperium found a way into the city, it was tainted with their sin. That taint transformed those men, turning them into twisted reflections of their own hearts. And the Maker cast them back to the Earth, where they became the first Darkspawn. At least that's what the Chant of Light says. It may be allegory, meant to teach us that our own evil causes human suffering. Or it may be true. It is as good an explanation as any for now. Yes, occasionally it's wise to contemplate one's actions. But I'm certain Duncan has more for you to do than talk to me.
That one's locked.
Welcome, young woman.
Sorry, that's a little jarring. Somebody says, what? I have played female characters before, but it's a little jarring when they actually acknowledge that.
I am one of the Tranquil, my friend. I am of the Circle of Magi. But instead of casting spells and reading tomes, I spend my time enchanting. It is a time-consuming process, but invaluable. Enchantment provides the Circle its wealth. Certainly we would not get by on charity. Allow me to put it this way. Do you know why those with magical talent are feared? It is dangerous beyond its power. Those with magical talent attract demons and spirits. We can be possessed easily, and thus become horrors known as abominations. Even those with minor talents attract hungry spirits. Anyone with the power may learn blood magic from these demons. Hence, we are considered dangerous. This is our curse. Thus, I was made tranquil, stripped of emotions and talent. I am no longer dangerous. You do? I feel nothing. As the name suggests, my existence is quite peaceful. I am alive, productive, and no danger to anyone. Surely that is not a terrible thing. Perhaps we may speak of something else. Do you need assistance? It is the practice of folding magical lyrium into items first practiced by the Dwarves. The Tranquil have learned their runes, and we use them to apply a variety of magical effects. We create the glow lights, as well as the magic staff, or the flaming blade. The irony, perhaps, is that it is our very disconnection to our former talents that allows the Tranquil to work with lyrium so. A true mage could not. Runes exist that hold the power of the elements that increase strength or swiftness. Almost any spell can be given permanency, given enough skill and lyrium. Naturally, the greater the power required, the more expensive the rune will become to create. True power comes with a price, as we know only too well. Goodbye.
You know, they might be creepy, but there is something to that. Like, sometimes, you know, when life gets stressful, you just kind of wish you could just turn it off, you know what I mean? Not life, I mean, just the ability to feel the stress, I guess. Like, I wish I could just go through life and just be content and happy, you know, regardless of whatever my circumstances are.
So, any last wishes I can help fulfill before you head into battle? Life is fleeting, you know. That pretty face could be decorating some darkspawn spear this time tomorrow. Shall I take that quiet glare as a no? Oh, well, too bad.
Oh, Davith.
Well, you're not what I thought you'd be. The name's Davith. It's about bloody time you came along. I was beginning to think they cooked this ritual up just for our benefit. I happened to be sneaking around camp last night, see, and I heard a couple of Grey Wardens talking. So, I listened in for a bit. I'm thinking they plan to send us into the wilds. It's all too secretive for me. Makes my nose twitch. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Like we have a choice. I've got nowhere else to go after what Duncan saved me from. Anyway, I expect it's time to get back to Duncan. That's where I'll be if you need me for anything.
Ah, merchant. And another lock chest.
Have you seen an elf running about? Young woman, red hair, carrying a suit of chain. Blast it. Where did she go? That suit better be patched up when she gets back, or by the maker I'll... Oh, pardon my manners. My troubles are no concern of yours, I'm sure. Oh, I'm the quartermaster. Did you come for supplies? Oh, I'm sure you have better things to do than run errands for me. I can find it myself. Arms and armor, for the most part. It's for the King's men, but you Grey Wardens can buy what you need for a modest price. I also have some goods on the side I can provide. Strictly off the record, of course. To keep morale up, you understand.
Booze? Let's see.
As long as you keep it quiet.
Traps. I'll probably utilize poisons. Cool. Nothing I really want. What about his other goods?
Hello again. Is there something you need? Some supplies, perhaps? Let me know what you'd like.
Potions, Mabari Crunch. This is a potion for the Hound. Lesser injury kit. If you die, you become injured. You get a debuff that reduces stats, that kind of thing. This can get rid of that debuff. Lyrium potions if you're a magic user, which I am not. But we will get some in our party at some point. Traps. We got some recipes there. Yeah, these are just materials for various things. Armor, pretty much standard. And, oh yeah, backpack. So, we should probably sell... We're going to sell all of this stuff here, because we can't use it right now. And we basically have, like, we can buy as much of it as we want later. Good enough to get the backpack. There we go. We'll be back later, I'm certain. Just a sec. Alrighty. I know where Alistair is. He's down here, but let's kind of go around exploring the rest of the camp. Should we get every little bit of XP we can get?
Huh. Someone finally comes and talks to the lone prisoner. I don't suppose you've come to sentence me. No. They put someone like me in a cage until someone important has time to decide what to do with me. I don't suppose you have a bit of kindness in you? All I want is food and water. They haven't fed me since I was locked up and I'm starving. I'm a deserter, or so they think. I bet there's no arguing them out of it, though. Armies are funny that way. I wasn't deserting. But when you catch someone sneaking around camp in the middle of the night, what else are you gonna think? Does it matter? All I want is a bit of food and water. Oh, I would have deserted eventually. Just not then. I was stealing, not sneaking out of the camp. I got one of those wizards drunk and took his key. It belongs to a chest they got here, full of magical treasures. In fact, I still have it. I can't use it from here, but I'd trade you for some food and water.
Ooh.
I swallowed it, but it's come back into my possession.
Shit key.
So to speak.
Kill him and take the key. Well, I can't just kill him. What the hell? Wouldn't the rest of the camp just attack me? I mean, you know, logically speaking, he's a prisoner, but he hasn't been tried or anything.
Just ask my guard for his. He's still got some dinner. I saw him put it in his coat.
Lucky dog. You Grey Wardens get to ride with the king while I'm left with the drudgery of guarding this deserter. They should have just hanged him. Put his head on a pike as an example. I can't just let him go, can I? The army will figure out what to do with him. Probably just waiting for someone important to make a decision. Then they'll hang him, I expect. And I can go and do something else. Don't expect it was an enlightening conversation. What a surprise. Another innocent prisoner. At any rate, it's not for me to say. He'll get his day to plead his case, or he won't. It's all the same to me. Did he now? Since nobody sends me nothing to feed him with, the only way we'll get that is if I give him mine. All right, all right. I guess the poor fella could stand to have one meal in his belly before he hangs. Don't know why you care. I had nothing to do with it, though. If anyone asks why he's burping, I'm gonna say it was you. Just so you know.
So? Brought me some food, have you? I'm so hungry I could faint dead away. Much obliged. May Andraste herself rain blessings upon you. And, as I mentioned, here's the key. Use it in good health, huh?
Another locked chest. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the rogue.
Greetings. You must be the third recruit we've heard about. Sir Jury is my name. I hail from Redcliffe, where I served as knight under the command of Arl Eamon. I was not aware they permitted women to join the Grey Wardens. None of those I've seen thus far have been. You obviously impressed Duncan, and that's enough for me. I hope we're both lucky enough to eventually join the Wardens. Is it not thrilling to be given that chance? As am I. Has anyone told you about it? I never heard of such a ritual. I had no idea there were more tests after getting recruited. I suppose since you're finally here, I'd best get back to Duncan. I shall see you there.
Ah, I suspect you are one of the new Grey Wardens. Will you accept the Maker's blessing?
My character's religious.
Then I bless you, Grey Warden, in the name of Andraste and the Maker above. May the chant of light carry your name to the ears of our Lord.
Are you to fight under the other Grey Wardens? I hope to be under the King.
They're going to kill us all. Kill us and then eat us.
King Kalen should not have called on those vile Orlesians for help.
I feel ill at ease about the coming battle. I pray the Maker will watch over us all.
You need to convince them. We've got to run. The Darkspawn are coming. The Grey Wardens will die. The King will die. We'll all die.
I apologize, Warden. He's been like this ever since they found him in the wilds. The commander who brought him here didn't seem to think so.
You can feel it, can't you? They taint the land, turn it black and sick. Oh, you can feel it inside. They'll come out of that forest and spread. Like caterpillars covering a tree. They'll swallow us whole.
That's quite enough out of you. You need to calm yourself, my good man.
They were everywhere. I saw them.
Interesting.
I apologize if the soldier disturbed you. Ever since they found him in the wilds, he's been like this. It's so sad.
He calls. I don't want to see any more.
Sorry, miss. The army camp is off limits for you right now.
Okay, yeah, all the tents. Well, you can see how dated the game is by looking at that. Good for its time, though, I guess.
Hail. You're one of Duncan's new recruits, correct? I can't let you through to the Korkari Wilds until he gives the word. The Korkari Wilds is a dangerous place. More so now that it crawls with Darkspawn. They say the Great Blight began deep within its forests. One of our scouting patrols has been gone for 3 days. We're taking bets on who got them first, the Darkspawn or the Witches of the Wilds. Oh, sure. There's an old legend in these parts about Flemeth, the apostate sorceress who conquered this area centuries ago. She united the chasing barbarians and invaded the farmlands. That's when the great hero, Cormac, destroyed her army with his. Took her head right off, so they say. Her daughters survived and became the Witches of the Wild. Tales tell of them plaguing this area since. Mostly superstitions, stealing babies and spoiling milk. Only when it's dark and the wind is bad. No doubt those patrols met some Darkspawn. That's enough for anyone to worry about. At any rate, that's why Duncan doesn't want you wandering out without his say-so.
It's good to have Grey Wardens amongst us. With their help, perhaps we can push these things back underground for good.
We must see to our hounds. To an Ash warrior, a hound is as much a weapon as a blade.
We are preparing for battle. This is a solemn time for us.
You there, elf. What's your name?
It's Pick, sir.
Go tell Turnlow Gang that the war party's ready to begin scouting. We'll send word if we find anything amiss.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
If you have business with the Ash Warriors, I suggest you speak to our commander.
What do you need? You haven't brought more instructions from the Ten, I hope. If you're not from the town, what do you want? We're busy. We aren't. We're Ash Warriors. Our training has been passed down since Lathias the Dwarfson first harnessed the battle rage of the Dwarves. It is an old tale. We harness the rage inside us, nurture it, and draw it out so we cannot fall in battle until our last foe is slain. It is a dwarven discipline, but we've adapted it to let us fight alongside our hounds. That is our way. I trust my hound with my life, as he trusts me with his. Then you are most fortunate. A trained Mabari hound is as dangerous as any sword. We do not speak of a city pet or those things that sit in an old woman's lap. To scout the wilds and watch the progression of the Darkspawn horde. With luck, we'll find and slaughter many stragglers. The hunt will be good if my hound survives the blood of his prey. If he dies, I shall mourn tonight. Darkspawn blood is poisonous, but not always fatal. Those who survive grow immune to its effects. The Wardens say that tainted blood drives even the survivors mad eventually. But not today. Today, we hunt and we kill. They fight at our side. We don't fret over their safety as if they were children. They use scent to distinguish us from our enemies. The blood of battle can confuse them. So we paint ourselves with Caddis, which overpowers the blood, and also paint our hounds so they know we are the same. Why? Would you steal our Caddis and give it to the Darkspawn hordes? If you tried, we would kill you. And that is no joke. I am no bard, but I'll do my best. Matthias was a claimed tribesman. Some said he was too short to be a warrior, but he was strong and fierce. His chieftain sent him to the Dwarves of Orzammar to negotiate an alliance, where he fell in love with the king's daughter, Skya, and brought her back to his tribe. She taught Matthias to use the dwarven battle wrath to summon his strength and ignore all pain. Matthias then taught this to the clan, who made him their chieftain. Matthias's prowess earned him the love of Morriganon, a beautiful chieftain of another tribe. When Skya learned of his seduction, she returned to her people. Matthias was grieved. He sent Morriganon away, but this only vexed her, and began a long war between their tribes. In the end, Matthias slew Morriganon in single combat. However, his wounds were great, and he perished when the rage ended. The dwarves came from Orzammar that day, and gave Matthias an honored burial in the mountains. And we live by his teachings even today. It is said that before the final battle, she returned to Matthias and gave him a shirt of dwarven chain, along with a final night of passion. Then she was gone forever. If she lived on in Orzammar, only the dwarven folk could say for certain. He was a great man with great passions. Perhaps you'll hear a more inspiring version in a tavern someday. My thanks. There is hunting to be done, and I'll not be kept from it.
Excuse me, I must get the hounds ready for battle. Half the dogs are sick from Darkspawn blood. It's terrible.
So, just so you're aware, only the human noble gets early access to the Mabari as part of his origin story, his or her origin story. Every other class has a quest given to them by the Kennel Master to basically cure a sick Mabari, and then the Mabari kind of comes to you later. But every class eventually gets the hound. And that hound can be used as a party member, which we'll see later at some point. Aha! So this is the respec raven. You interact with it, it gives you a potion, and you can actually respec your character, which we really don't have need of right now, but it'll become important later.
Well, in for a silver, in for a crown, as my dear mum always used to say.
We should see what Duncan wants us to do next, don't you think?
You found our tent, I see. Is there something you need? Alistair can help you with those. I had hoped he would be back by now.
Yeah, we'll have to go find him.
Well met.
You approach the tent of Tairn Loghain. State your business.
How can you not know of Loghain? He helped free Ferelden. He was the brains behind King Maric's armies and drove out those damned Orlesians. King Maric rewarded him by making him a Tern. Can you imagine? A commoner became a high nobleman just like that. Without Loghain, you can bet the king wouldn't be winning against these Darkspawn. He's inside, but I don't think it's my place to discuss his activity. I suppose, as long as we talk quietly. He and the king have been arguing for days. The Tern's known the king since he was swaddled, so they don't stand on ceremony. The Tern speaks his mind, and the king yells right back. Personally, I think the king should do what Tern Loghain tells him. Without the Tern, we wouldn't be doing as well here as we are. I suppose you have a message for him. Hold on, then.
Thanks to that coercion.
Yes, what is it? Oh, you're Duncan's new Grey Warden, I assume. You impressed His Majesty, nonetheless. He could not contain his excitement over your meeting. Kaelin's fascination with the Wardens goes beyond the ordinary. Are you aware his father brought your order back to Ferelden? Maric respected the Grey Wardens. They have an honored place in the hearts of our people. But Maric would have understood that it takes more than legends to win a battle. That's not an argument I'll repeat here. You look familiar. Have I seen you at the Lands meet? The king told me of his promise. I'm certain he has every intention of following it through. I don't suppose you'll be riding into the thick of battle with the rest of your fellows, will you? If Kaelin has his way, you will. Now I must return to my task. Pray that our king proves amenable to wisdom, if you're the praying sort. He is Maric's son and the leader of my beloved Ferelden, and a very young man. I try to keep that in mind, as should you.
He's a little thorny, but he's level-headed. I like him.
Hail to you. Greetings. King Kaelin is not in his tent right now. I believe he's with the Grey Wardens in camp, drinking. He holds them in high regard, you know, as his father did. I suppose I do, though he's spending most of his time with the Grey Wardens. He rides with them wherever they go, in fact. Tern Loghain sees the king whenever he can and argues with him over coming battles, but the king just waves him off. The king wants to end the Blight with a single huge battle the bards will sing of for centuries. Do you think that's possible? That's how the Tern feels. He'll do what the king wants in the end, though. The king thought it was funny the Tern called him reckless, and they fought about the queen. She's the Tern's daughter. He wasn't happy about something she did or the king did, I'm not sure. Probably shouldn't discuss it. As you wish.
Well, we got a naive king and his advisor who thinks he's a fool.
Look carefully, men. Listen to those old wives' tales. They can be killed. Stick them with your sword enough, and they go down. Their blood is black as sin and poisonous. Don't even touch it. You get tainted with that blood, and you may as well slit your throat. We've lost many dogs already. Had to muzzle them to keep them from biting. It's a long and painful way to die.
This is supposed to be the battle that sends these Darkspawn back underground. You believe that?
I don't know what to believe. We've won every battle, but there's more of them each time.
Makes you wonder if them Grey Wardens are right.
I don't want to think about it.
Sounds like the perfect time to get drunk, if you ask me.
I heard the king was even gambling with some of the men down in the valley last night. He's all right, he is.
Good night for it, Warden.
Sounds like the king is a good man, just a little bit of a youth.
Friend here, for instance,
Naive.
something called a genlog. They're pretty common in the Horde, but we've seen others much larger. We don't know where these new Darkspawn are coming from, or what they can do. All I can say is to use caution. There aren't any we've seen that won't die once they bleed enough.
Genlock.
The last gassing pod made it back last night.
I shall do it.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. My faith sustains me. I shall not fear 10,000 men should they set themselves against me.
Hello? I'm sorry, is there something you needed? I deliver messages around the camp. You have a message for me? You want to talk to me? I'm not in trouble, am I? Oh, that's a relief. I'm one of the king's servants, which means I run messages around and make deliveries all day long. If you fall behind, you get the switch from the quartermaster. Oh, I wish I were back at the palace. There are far more places to hide. I better go. If the quartermaster sees me chatting, he'll think I'm being lazy, and that'll be my hide. But it was nice talking to someone.
Okay. Elves are mistreated in this world, apparently. They're like servants. They're a serf class, lower class.
Hello again. You need something now? I deliver messages around the camp. You have a message for me? Then what is... Oh, wait. Are you the one I'm supposed to give Sir Garland's sword to? Because I think the smith's done with it.
Whoops. Now let's get the sword.
Such a relief. You really saved me from the switch for sure.
Oh,
I
crap.
best get back to my duties again before I get in more trouble.
I'm such a shitty person. Let's see what this sword is. 2 attack and physical resistance. That's gonna be a good one for a tank. Not for me. Better than nothing, I guess. Luckily, this isn't Baldur's Gate, where there's probably some weird consequences. It's got something new to say.
Nothing to suggest that the Darkspawn drag our people underground to eat them. And I want this talk about Darkspawn enslaving survivors to stop immediately. Keep your minds focused on the battle. You fight for Ferelden and for your king. Remember that.
We'll have to run by here again to see if he's got anything else to say. Alright, we've gone... That's back across the bridge. Yeah. We've talked to everybody on this side. Let's go to Alistair now. Oh, we forgot to...
Your sons and daughters. We who betrayed your prophet Andraste now beg your forgiveness. Do not abandon us in our darkest hour. Watch over the valiant King Kaelin and guide him as he faces this terrible evil. Watch over Terran Loghain and give him the wisdom to bring us victory against the Scourge of Shadow. Watch over Ferelden, the homeland of Holy Andraste. Keep her people safe from the Darkspawn. Let us bow our heads and offer prayers to the Maker, that he might find us worthy. I do not have time to speak at present, thank you.
Well met. Shh, I'm trying to listen. If you'd excuse me, we are praying.
How do you do?
Quiet, I'm trying to listen.
Ostagar is a very defensible location. Even if the Horde outnumbers us, we should see a decisive victory.
Hail, Grey Warden.
Hail to you.
Got the key to that chest, but I don't know if we should open it right now. Well, let's save it and see. Nah. I know we get access to it later.
I fetch something for you? I'm sorry, but there's so much to do before the battle. I must attend to my duties or I'll get the switch.
Oh, I apologize. I hope I wasn't disturbing you.
What is it now? Haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle?
I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. It's like a party. We could all stand in a circle and hold hands. That would give the Darkspawn something to think about. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage. Hardly. I just like to know my chances of being turned into a toad at any given moment. Wait, I do know who you are. You're Duncan's new recruit. From High Ever. I should have recognized you right away. I apologize. Duncan sent word. He spoke quite highly of you. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Alistair, the new Grey Warden. Though I guess you knew that. As the junior member of the Order, I'll be accompanying you when you prepare for the joining. Right, that was the name. You know, it just occurred to me that there have never been many women in the Grey Wardens. I wonder why that is. Would that be so terrible? Not that I'm some drooling lecher or anything. Please stop looking at me like that. So I'm curious. Have you ever actually encountered Darkspawn before? When I fought my first one, I wasn't prepared for how monstrous it was. I can't say I'm looking forward to encountering another. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started. With the mage, the Circle is here at the King's request, and the Chantry doesn't like that one bit. They just love letting mages know how unwelcome they are, which puts me in a bit of an awkward position. I was once a Templar. I'm sure the revered mother meant it as an insult, sending me as her messenger, and the mage picked right up on that. I never would have agreed to deliver it, but Duncan says we're all to cooperate and get along. Apparently they didn't get the same speech. Davith and Sir Jory are here in the camp. Have you met them? That makes things easy then. They'll both be back with Duncan by now. You do? Huh. That's a switch. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, lead on.
No! I need a rogue. Alright, we've gone through the entire camp, talked to everybody, so pretty much all that's left is Duncan.
You found Alistair, did you? Good. I'll assume you're ready to begin preparations. Assuming, of course, that you're quite finished riling up mages, Alistair.
What can I say? The revered mother ambushed me. The way she wields guilt, they should stick her in the army.
She forced you to sass the mage, did she? We cannot afford to antagonize anyone, Alistair. We don't need to give anyone more ammunition against us.
You're right, Duncan. I apologize.
Now then, Since you're all here, we can begin. You four will be heading into the Kokari Wilds to perform 2 tasks. The first is to obtain 3 vials of darkspawn blood, 1 for each recruit. For the joining itself, I'll explain more once you've returned. There was once a Grey Warden archive in the wilds, abandoned long ago when we could no longer afford to maintain such remote outposts. It has recently come to our attention that some scrolls have been left behind, magically sealed to protect them. Alistair, I want you to retrieve these scrolls if you can. Old treaties, if you're curious. Promises of support made to the Grey Wardens long ago. They were once considered only formalities. With so many having forgotten their commitments to us, I suspect it may be a good idea to have something to remind them with. No, but the effort must be made. I have every confidence you are up to the task. It will be an overgrown ruin by now, but the sealed chest should remain intact. Alistair will guide you to the area you need to search. It's possible the scrolls may have been destroyed or even stolen, though the seal's magic should have protected them. Only a Grey Warden can break such a seal.
I don't understand. Why leave such things in a ruin if they're so valuable?
It was assumed that we would someday return. A great many things were assumed that have not held true. Watch over your charges, Alistair. Return quickly and safely.
We will.
Then may the Maker watch over your path. I will see you when you return.
Alright, taking a look at our quests here. So that's the DLC one. We got 3 quests. We've got the Hungry Deserter. You acquired a key from the prisoner, presumably for one of the chests in the Circle of Magi part in the King's camp. The chest will very likely only be reachable when the Tranquil are not present, such as when they're gone for the evening. So we can get it later. Painted Blood. Duncan has asked Alistair to lead you, Sir Jory, and Davith into the Kokari Wilds to find stray darkspawn and collect 3 vials of their blood. This blood will be used in the secretive joining ritual. And then, as a second task for the joining ritual, Duncan has asked Alistair to find a ruined Grey Warden outpost in the wilds. Supposedly, it contains a cache of old and important treaties that need to be recovered. Alright. Cool. Time to go into the wilds.
I shall do it.
Hail! I'm told you all have business in the wilds. The gate's open for you. Just be careful out there. Even a Grey Warden won't be safe in the forest tonight.
Alright, so we've got 4 companions total, including us. We're gonna prepare our potions and stuff like that. So we got all of this long, gigantic action bar here. So we're gonna drag some of our poultices into it. Make sure that it's lit up when you do it. Okay, so we got regular health poultice and lesser health poultice. Okay. We could do this for all of our guys. He's got a couple of modes here. We're going to have to mess with their tactics, too. We'll do that real quickly. So his ability, Shield Pummel, activated. Activated ability, Shield Bash. And then he's got... I usually put my sustain abilities on the end, because generally speaking, you don't touch these once you've activated them. I think there is an argument to be made for switching between different activated abilities. If you've got... if they have different purposes, like there's a tank one that's for range defense. There's another one that's for melee defense, and you can switch between the two. However, right now it's not necessary. We get to activate that. When we exit our inventory, I've pressed this button here. When we exit our inventory, he's automatically going to activate shield cover. Alright, next guy, Davith. He's got stealth, which I actually prefer to put at number 8. Poison making put at the end. Actually make a quick change real quick. So I actually have a Razor Naga mouse, which actually has 12 buttons on the side. And the rear and most central button, what is that, 9? And then this one is the dash. The rear and most central button is dash. This is equals, and this is 0 right here. I pretty much in every game I play, or every game that allows me to do it, I put a health potion right here, so that way I can just have a nope, deactivate. Oh no. Cancel. No. No. Don't do it. Okay, how about this one? Inspect. Okay, instead... Damn it. I don't want to use it. Isn't there a way to cancel my action? So much for being a pro at this game, huh? There's probably a way, I just don't know it. Alright, we might end up wasting a health poultice. Sorry. Do that over here, too. 0 dash. That next to it. Actually, we're going to have our most powerful health poultice in there. So we can use it in case of an emergency, I guess. That's an activated ability. Jory is a warrior. So Davith is a rogue, which is good. I think he's a rogue. I'll figure that out in a second. Maybe it'll allow us to unlock some chests and stuff. Alright, let's see. We've got Pommel Strike. That's an activated ability. Knocks the opponent to the ground unless it passes a resistance check. Mighty Blow, another activated ability. Deals critical damage, imposes a movement speed penalty unless they pass a check. Indomitable. Character remains in control of battlefield, gaining a slight increase to attack damage while being immune to stun or knockdown effects for the duration of the mode. This one's an activated one. We're going to put this one over here. We'll activate that. Then Sunder Arms. Character attempts to hinder a target's ability to fight back rather than going directly for a killing blow. Unless the target passes a physical resistance check, it suffers a penalty to attack. So basically we use this on powerful enemies to debuff their ability to hit us. This one will knock down people. We can save that for elite enemies as well. And then this one's an actual damaging ability that does penalty to movement speed, but it does critical. So this one was like our one hit and quit type ability. Medium. Okay. Back to me. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Yep, I wasted that poultice. Jeez. Okay. We're gonna go to tactics now. I'm gonna show you the tactics screen. So tactics, you can actually set their default presets here, and then you can change them to however you want, and then their behavior. So the behavior is how they generally act. It's kind of a broad strokes type thing. For example, defaults, this party member will not attack when enemies are visible, but will engage enemies only at the player's command. However, if attacked in melee combat, the character will fight back and will try to chase enemies if they move away. This party member will flee the location of harmful area of effect attacks, and then if none of the party members' custom tactics are applicable, the character will begin a default attack routine. So basically, this is what everybody's set to by default. Passive, they'll fight back if they're attacked in melee combat, but they won't chase enemies, and they try to stay close to the player, so me. This would probably be good if I were a ranged. I could use this as an option if I were a ranged attacker, and then I had other ranged party members trying to stay near me. I'm not going to be using this one very often, I think. Aggressive, basically the moment enemies are visible, they'll attack. I usually save this one for the tank and for my main character, who in this case is melee. Range, the combat, basically the character tries to stay at ranged. That's a good one for mages and a good one for bow users. Cautious, they won't fight back in melee combat. They try to run from enemies. They try to stay close to the player, and they flee area of effect. Basically, this is like if you don't want the guy to fight on their own, only commands. Defensive is basically they only fight in defense of themselves. They don't chase enemies. They stay close to the party member, to the player, and they flee AoE attacks. So, anyway, I'm going to leave my guy in aggressive. Let me see here. Scrapper. So, these are conditions, and then these are actions. So, this is saying my character, when he's not being controlled by me, my character will, if they're surrounded by at least 3 enemies, they'll use the ability dual weapon sweep. Now, this tactics menu is like, in my personal opinion, like one of the coolest things about this game, because you can basically write scripts for all of your characters in your party. And if you do a good enough job, ideally, you really won't have to switch between them very often, because they'll take care of themselves and do what they're supposed to do. So this is kind of like you're coordinating your team ahead of time, what they're supposed to do in certain situations. If you have constants, like precise striking, for example, I usually set those as to self any. So at any point in time, you activate mode precise striking. You can actually deactivate the mode too in certain situations if you want to. And I usually have these on the bottom because they're the least important and they're pretty much one and done. Once it's activated, you don't even have to worry about this condition anymore. I usually have, this is a, see how it says 1, 2, 3? This is an order of priority. So it starts at the top. If it doesn't meet these conditions, or if this is on cooldown, it'll move to the next one, then set the next, then the next, until it reaches the very bottom where the least important stuff is. So that's generally how this works. I usually have, as an automated option, the tank is supposed to be getting most of the threat. So what I do is that whatever the tank is attacking, that's what I have everybody else attack as a general rule. You can change that if you need to. You can just disable the tactic if you get into a situation where you need to disable that for some reason and have all of your party members attack different things. Generally speaking, though, it's better to mow enemies down one at a time. So that way you have fewer enemies on the battlefield doing damage to your party. It's less of a hassle on the mages when enemies are dying quickly. So especially at the beginning of the game. When you get near the end of the game and you have enemies that... or you have party members that can literally just one-shot enemies real quick, there's no need to have everybody attacking the same enemy. So you can change things up. But for now, I usually put enemy target of Alistair, who's my tank. And I hit attack. And I put that underneath these ones, because if you do this, this will be at the top. Actually, you know what? You can put this at the top. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I guess we'll see, but... yeah. No, we'll put this at the bottom. I like having it at the bottom. So most important is use AoE if I'm surrounded by enemies, and then always make sure otherwise that I'm attacking whatever Alistair is attacking. So That's generally how I do it. For Alistair, you get more of these, by the way, as time goes on. You're not always going to have 3. Every time you level up, or most of the time when you level up, you actually get more slots. And then you'll have a ridiculous amount of abilities you'll be scrolling down. But the more intricate and accurate this is, the more you'll be able to just control your own character, rather than switching back and forth between different characters. So Alistair is going with the defender. He's going to be my tank. And then I'm going to change it from here. So self being attacked by a range attack, shield cover. And then I would say these are pretty much right. Let me see. Shield bash. I try to save these specialty when these special abilities that do other things like crowd control for elite enemies or higher. Regular enemies die quick enough to where you really don't have to crowd control them. But the elite enemies are dangerous, and those are the ones that need to be basically focused and crowd controlled. So, let's see. Character bashes, target dealing normal damage, as well as knocking the target off its feet unless it passes a check. Okay, so we're gonna. This is a little bit of a crowd control. So we're gonna actually choose the enemy as a rank instead. So enemy target whose rank is elite or higher. Basically, this is how I'll do it. Elite or higher. So basically, any enemy that is an elite or higher, Alistair will bash them to try to knock them down. And let me see. Pummel, shield pummel. Character follows up an attack with 2 hits from the shield, dealing normal damage with each attack. If the target fails a check, it is stunned. So this is another crowd control one. So we can do the same thing. Enemy rank, elite or higher. Pummel, shield pummel. Okay. And then his behavior is going to be aggressive. He's the tank. He's going to run right in and immediately start attacking people. All right, and we got Davith, who's going to be our ranged. Let me check something real quick. I want to see what class Davith actually is. Yeah, Davith is a rogue. A rogue with low cunning. So I don't think he's going to be unlocking much, unfortunately. All right, back to tactics. He's going to be an archer. We're going to set him to ranged. Let me see. Pinning shot. It already has enemy target using a melee attack. Use pinning shot. So that's a good one. We'll also use enemy target of party member Alistair. Attack. We'll put that at the bottom. He pretty much doesn't have the ability to stealth right now. He's got the lowest level of stealth, so he can pretty much only stealth out of combat. Let me see. Self. Status. Seeing if there's like an out of combat status or something like that. Stealth. No, not really. Yeah. See, when you get a higher level of stealth and you're able to stealth while in combat, basically you can use stealth to escape enemies. I would put like self being attacked by melee or ranged attack or something like that, and then have him activate stealth. That'll take the threat off him, and he'll move on to a different target. The enemies will move on to a different target. But meanwhile, this should do for Davith. And then Jory is going to have self, any, and then he's going to activate mode Indomitable. So he's always going to have this running. And then he's got Mighty Blow, he's got Pommel Strike, and he's got Sunder Arms. So Mighty Blow poses a penalty to movement speed unless they pass a check. So that's going to be like a critical hit type thing. Yep, critical damage, bonus to attack, all of that. So that's going to be basically save... yeah, see, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to waste this critical hit on an enemy that only has 20%? Oh, greater than 20% health. No, less than. Bro, it's been a little long since I've been in school, guys. Yeah, I think that's greater than, actually. Greater than 25%. I'm still thinking I want to save this for harder enemies. We'll say health greater than 50%. Greater than or equal to. Yeah. Greater than or equal to 50%. Use Mighty Blow. Then we have Pommel Strike. Player strikes out with weapon, knocking opponent on the ground. So this is a crowd control ability. And we also have Sunder Arms. Rather than going directly for a killing blow, unless the target passes a physical resistance check, it suffers a penalty to attack. So this is kind of another one that I want to use only on an elite. So we're going to use enemy, rank, elite, or higher. We're actually going to change this one. We have this activated, and I'm pretty sure that Jory is only available to us in this part of the game. So since it's already activated, we'll reserve all of these for actual activated abilities. So use ability Pommel Strike. This is a crowd control. Enemy, rank, no, elite or higher. Say normal or higher. So this is kind of his DPS one. I want crowd control always to be the higher. Oh. Crowd control is always going to be the most important thing, especially in nightmare difficulty. The more enemies that you can have not attacking, the better. That's why mages are actually going to be like top notch. Pretty much in this party, I'm only going to have one mage. When we get them, obviously we don't have one now. But mage is awesome at crowd control and healing. They're the best. Since I only get one, because I have to have a rogue in my party, which means I'm going to have a tank warrior, unless I decide to tank, which I don't think I will. I want to do dual wielding. I've never done dual wielding on a warrior. But since I'm not a tank, I have to have a warrior tank with me to take the aggro threat off of me. And then we'll have to have a rogue, so that way we have the option to unlock doors and chests and stuff, and then a single mage. So they're basically, the single mage is going to be crowd control and healing, basically. They're going to have to handle both. Everybody's going to have access to some crowd control, but the mages are going to be like top notch. All right, this guy is going to be aggressive as well. All right. We're at just over an hour. I would say this is our perfect moment to, we'll go ahead and pause this and pick up on the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know there's no combat really in this one. Plenty of story, though. Plenty of lore and story. I guess we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and leave a comment for me. And alright guys, y'all have a good night.